Hi, I just wanted to have a chat with you in regards to treats and training. A lot of people feel that if they're going to give their dogs treats for training, then they need to sort of limit them. And some people feel as though they don't need to give their dogs treats when training. They can do other things. They can, give attention, etc. Which is fine. However, it depends what training they're doing. If they're doing something particularly hard work, like recall, like loosely training, something particularly difficult, they're going to need to want to work harder for it. And, we need to pay them better almost salary for that, because they are doing something that is particularly difficult. So if we're paying them with love, or with just general kibble, or with just sort of quite low value treats, they're not going to work as hard as if we gave them something like maybe some human feed, like a teeny bit of human food, like cheese or chicken or sausage or something like that. Now, when I talk about human food and how much you need to feed, I'm talking about literally just the pinky finger nail. That's how much you need to give. You don't need to give much at all. Okay, so when you do give this, only give it once they've actually performed the behaviour. They'll be much more willing to try again if they know they're going to be, paid well as such. If they're doing a particularly easy behaviour, like a sit, a stand, or a wait, or a stay, something like that, then you can give them slightly lesser value treats, like maybe, like the kibble you were saying, or like a little bit of your attention. Those things are slightly easier for them, so you're not paying them as much. Then when it comes to sometimes when people come into my classes, they say, I don't want to be treating all the time. So you don't need to treat all the time. But what you do need to do is make sure that the behaviour is really cemented before you start decreasing those treats. So if you start to decrease those treats before the behaviour is cemented, that behaviour is not going to carry on. It's going to get weaker. So the more that you do it, and the more that they do the behaviour and you give the treats, the better that behaviour will become. Then what you need to do is you need to then start to decrease the treats ever so slightly. So if the dog performs the particular behaviour once, then you give the treat once. If the dog performs the behaviour again, you give them a good boy. If the dog performs the behaviour again and you ask for it, you give the treat again. Okay, so you're alternating the treats. Okay, and in between that period, you're still giving reinforcement, but you're giving it via your voice or via your, attention. Okay. However, dogs are really good at knowing when the treats are coming. They are masters of knowing patterns. So what we need to do is we need to mix it up as much as we possibly can, so that they are left thinking, am I going to get a treat on this particular behaviour, or am I just going to get attention, or am I going to get something better? So we need to really mix it up and really try and fool them into thinking that they're going to get a treat this time round. Oh, no, they didn't get a treat this time around, they got attention. Oh, okay, keep them guessing as to what they're going to get next. That is really cementing the behaviour really, really nicely, so that you get a really good sit, you get a really good, whatever you're trying to train, that behaviour is really cemented. Just a word of caution, make sure that you do treat every now and again. Once the behaviour is cemented, you want to make sure that you're treating every now and again still, because what we don't want is that for that behaviour to be distinguished, to be weakened as such, and for them not to do it. So every now and again, just give them a treat instead of giving them your attention, and that will really cement the behaviour, keep them guessing as well, and ensure that that particular behaviour is going to keep on being presented. It's also a good idea to put together a list of all the different treats and attention and toys that they might particularly like, so that you can put that list into a hierarchy, putting the most valuable treats at the top, or attention or toys at the top, and then the least valuable treats that they see in their eyes right at the bottom. So you've got a little bit of a hierarchy so that you can work out what they would work the best for and what would they work the least for. So that will really help with your training.